Okay, today I wanted to talk about weight shift. A question came up to me about how do we kind of control our weight shift and how should weight work in our golf swing as we hit the golf ball. Well, one thing I want to just talk about just quickly right here in the beginning is that the weight of your arms actually really helps you with your weight shift subconsciously. And what I mean by that is if you take your arms out to the side and just simply just drop them to your side, they kind of hit your side very hard, meaning that there's quite a bit of weight to them as with your arms. So just talking about the backswing alone, when you bring the club back, the weight of your arms will kind of naturally put the weight more into your right side without you even really having to think about it. So I'm not a huge fan of the idea of shifting your weight to your right side, because what it actually starts to get you to start thinking about is trying to move your entire body to your right side, when just subconsciously by turning your arms and putting them on the right side of your body, the weight is naturally going to be on your right side. And then another thing that's kind of interesting is that when force plates kind of study where the best players tend to put their weight, it tends to be a little bit more on their right heel. So if you watch me at the top of my swing, when I take my club up to the top of my swing, you can see how my hands and arms are a little bit more behind me. So the hands and arms can actually even describe why the weight, especially for better players, tends to be more in the right heel, is because these super heavy pieces of our body, our arms, tend to go to the back right side of ourselves as we swing the club back into a good position here at the top of the swing. So that weight shift to the back foot tends to be very subconscious. Now, going into the downswing, I am also a big fan of thinking of it very subconsciously. And the reason why is because I'm a big fan of hands and arms swinging, meaning that from the top of the swing, we think about taking the weight of this golf club and throwing that weight as hard as we can. Now, the reason why I like the idea of throwing a weight so well is because most of you who hopefully are adults and have maybe thrown something before, when we throw something, and let's just say I'll take the club and put it to the side here, but when I go to throw something and I throw it really hard, all I really focus on is trying to whip my right hand as hard as I can. So I'm just whipping this hand as hard as I can as I try to throw something a far distance. Well, in the process of me thinking of whipping my right hand as hard as I can, I naturally, subconsciously shift my weight by stepping my right foot forward and then rotating my body and then throwing my hand. But I do not think of those three different things. So if you've watched golf instruction at all, golf instruction talks a lot about the sequence of motion on the downswing. So what we typically see is we see a shift of the lower body first, then a rotation of the upper body, and then finally the throw of the club. Well, what I'm suggesting here is that when you throw something, I don't think that most people think of all three of those things when they go to throw something. They think of just simply throwing their right hand, and then the step in rotation happens without thinking about it. So that's going to be my suggestion here from the top of the swing. So now that we've talked about the subconsciousness of that weight being in our right heel from the top of the swing, now I'm going to suggest that you just think of throwing that club and allowing the weight of your hands and arms to pull you forward and not think so much about the bumping and twisting of your body. So from the top of the swing, I'm getting up here to the top, and I'm just going to throw the right hand as hard as I can. And what you'll notice, and I would actually challenge you to videotape yourself, is just to take the club to the top of the swing and just think from here. Don't think about your body, but just think throwing the club as hard as you can, creating that big loud swish at the bottom of the swing. And what you will notice if you look at that video is that your body will naturally shift forward and then rotate around that left foot without even thinking about it, due to the fact that you don't think about it when you throw a ball across a yard. So when it comes to weight shift, I think it's something that is done very subconsciously and not something that I think you should be consciously thinking about when you're swinging the golf club. And if you can just let your hands and arms create the weight shift in the backswing and then just throw the club head with a lot of speed, the weight shift will happen without you having to think about it. And that is my message for today. And I think it could really help you out. If you haven't done so already, please go down to the red subscribe button at the bottom of this page and go ahead and click on that. And then right next to it, there's a bell button. If you click on that and go up to all, you'll get notifications for all my future videos. I'm trying to come out with about 3 a week. So if you want notifications for when those will be coming out, please go ahead and do that now. Also, if you like today's video, please go down and click on the thumbs up like button. That really helps out my channel. Also, if you know anybody that could benefit from today's video, please go ahead and share the link with them so that they can see it as well. Lastly, if you have any comments or questions on today's video, please go ahead and put it down in the comments section. I try to read them all and give them all a reply. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I really hope this helps your game.